Don't put me in the emo category. But life is also pretty damn miserable. Like a good chunk of the time. Like you just find yourself thinking like, damn, I really screwed up. Life has really suck. And it's just like this game reflects that. I'm not explaining this well, but screw it. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Let's put in some good old-fashioned park spam. So, yeah. SimCity 2013 sucks, bottom line. Which makes me also wary of any future EA releases. I mean, The Sims 4 is coming out next year. And, you know, my channel has been known for playing The Sims, obviously. So it is going to be something that would be silly. Whoa, oh, okay. Fine, face that way. I don't care. But this is something I'm most likely going to be getting, unless playing, maybe even from day one. Just because, you know, my channel has been known for Sims. Why not? And The Sims 3, despite all my previous reservations about it, all my little jokes about people nagging me to play it, despite all that, I like The Sims 3. I said it, I enjoyed it. When I was hating on it in the past, I was completely wrong. The game has flaws, yes, but it's fun. I've really enjoyed playing it. But even The Sims 3 was getting into a little bit of derp territory just because of how much DLC there is. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind when a company puts out DLC. And The Sims 3 wasn't. And The Sims 3 actually doesn't bother me that much in that regard because it was pretty much a complete game without the DLC. But there are some games out there, you know, and EA is probably the biggest offender of this. A lot of games out there that the game is just gutted without DLC, and that is what I don't like. I mean, when you sell a game, you should at least sell a complete game, you know? If you want to add extra stuff in a DLC, be my guest. Knock yourself out. Maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. Depends on how interesting the stuff is and how much, you know, how much I value that amount of money being spent on that thing, you know. But just give me a completed game with the amount of money that I paid for your game. That is all I ask. As long as I have that, knock yourself out with DLC. But Sims 3 at least doesn't offend me too much in that regard. It was a complete game on its own. The DLC just being added stuff, you know. Even if they had so much of it, and most of it was just not worth it, and just sort of little gimmicks to get, you know, 13-year-old girls' parents to part with their money to buy their daughter the Katy Perry stuff pack and all that dumb stuff that nobody needs. So Sims 4, the one good thing that could be said about the existence and the story of SimCity 2013 is that I think they've learned their lesson as to what not to do with The Sims 4, which I don't know if I think that's a worthy trade. You know, SimCity for The Sims. I mean, both franchises near and dear to my heart. But, you know, through the failure of the new SimCity game, The Sims might not be so bad. So, who knows? That might be a thing that we have to look forward to. But I worry, because if they messed up that bad on SimCity, I can't imagine they've learned all their lessons, you know? I still think there is derp in their hearts. And it saddens me because EA, believe it or not, used to be kind of a bro company, you know? I mean, they weren't like amazing or anything, like, but they used to be kind of cool. In the 90s and even the early 2000s, it still seemed like they cared. They just went to derp. And then they began eating up all the smaller gaming companies. And, yeah. I mean, you know, I talked about playing Red Alert as a kid. You know, we used to start up the games and see Westwood Studios proudly presents. Well, Westwood Studios proudly presents nothing these days. EA bought them. But, seeing that I've never played a Red Alert game other than the first one, I can't really comment too much on how that franchise has gone. Maybe one of you in the comments has and can clue me in, because I'm kind of curious to how that went. But yeah, I heard about the whole Mass Effect controversy, the ending being DLC and all that. So, but I mean, sheesh. We're not playing that game right now. Let's talk about something else. God. One thing I did want to mention, since we are on the city of Tom Hanks, speaking of Tom Hanks, I watched one of his movies. In fact, probably what many people, including myself, would consider his finest moment. That, of course, being Forrest Gump. And I think if I had to pick a favorite movie, that would be it. It's not an easy choice, you know? He's been in a lot of good things, and there's a lot of great movies out there. But just that movie, for whatever reason, just hits all the right buttons for me. From beginning to end, it just, you know, it just touches me in that special way. Just, this is story, the characters, how it's all wrapped up with the history of the time, you know, and just sort of the gentleness in which everything is, you know, all these hard, oh god, we're here again, power problems, but just, like I said, the gentleness of how all these difficult things about, you know, American life in the 60s and 70s, the politics and the racism and the other problems, just the very delicate way that it's handled, you know? We're going to have to switch another one of these on. Alright. We'll switch one of those on and say it's enough. I mean, what are you talking about? We're fine. We are fine. Well, we're getting less fine, so we're still growing, so. But anyway, yeah, that movie. And I really don't think that any actor but Tom Hanks could have been Forrest Gump. You know, I heard that they approached Bill Murray, who would have been all right. I even heard a rumor they approached John Travolta, which would have sucked in my opinion. But why? God damn it! But anyway, it's just one of the best movies that I think has ever been made. And you know, it's interesting because it was also produced or made or directed or something by, you know, Robert Zemeckis, who also made Back to the Future, one of my childhood favorites. So, just an interesting little way these things are all tied up together. I mean, whenever I watch that movie, I basically cry the entire time, and I'm not much of a crier during movies or anything really. But that movie, I just cry the entire time. I'm not afraid to admit it. It doesn't make me less of a man to admit that. It's one of those things where if that movie doesn't cause you to tear up even a little bit, you aren't really human. Just saying. I mean, you might need to take the, I'm going to have to give you a CAPTCHA test just because I need to determine, you know, in the interest of of security. I can't let any robots watch my videos. So if you are letting your pet robot watch my videos, I'm afraid I have to tell you that your pet robot is just not allowed to watch these videos anymore. It's for humans only. I mean, that might be racist, but I mean, have you seen the Terminator movies? We know what these robots are capable of. Don't give them the opportunity. Speaking of the Terminator movies, this is another one of my favorite movies. Both Terminator 1 and 2. 3 was mediocre, just sort of your average action flick. Everything past that, never saw Terminator Salvation, never, oh god damn it, never saw the TV show for the Terminator, although Summer Glau was in it, and I freaking love her. So maybe I should actually look that up sometime. And apparently it was very good, but only lasted like 2 seasons and got canceled or something like that. God damn it, you fire trucks. Oh, okay, this one's there. But Terminator 1 and 2 are 2 movies that I would probably either definitely put on my top 10 or put on the short list for being considered for my top 10 favorite movies ever. I mean, David Cameron knows how to make a movie. He is not a hack. He is a smart man. You know? Even like Avatar, I thought was like an average movie with the cliche storyline, but it looked really cool. So it was a movie worth seeing, even if it wasn't a great movie. But when I first saw when I used to compare movies like Titanic and movies like Terminator, I am like, how did these movies come out of the same man? It just doesn't seem possible. But when you really think about it, a lot of the same elements are there. Of course, Terminator being a much better movie. I mean, I still, believe it or not, I do like Titanic. I think it's a good movie. It's not, god damn it, we're fine on power. I mean, Titanic isn't like amazing or anything. Oh, we're losing power plants. We are going to have to take a peek at our power situation. Well, we are demolishing you. I really don't know if power plants melt down. I guess we're demolishing you too. Yeah, screw you. Oh, right. Well, let's build a hydrogen power plant. Yeah, but Titanic was pretty good. I think one of the main reasons that people don't like it was because of that song. You know what I'm talking about. So, look at that jump up. Look at that jump way up there. We are leeching money. How much can we turn down our power funding and still provide power? Is that too much? That's fine for now. And it pretty much almost balances our budget. But anyway, like I'm not gonna sit here and say Titanic is a great movie. Just to summarize myself, I suppose. However, Alien 2, yes, but Terminator and Terminator 2 are just great movies. Now, like, I sort of disagree with the majority on this, but I think that Terminator 1 was technically the better film. Just, I think it hits the buttons better than the second one. But Terminator 2 is just so badass. I mean, come on. Seriously, you know it is. And so, based on that, and Terminator 2 is still a great movie on its own merits too, so based on those things, they are about equal in my book. You know? Terminator 1 and 2. And once again, with, speaking about the first Terminator, we have the classic story of the hero played out in Sarah Connor. And just her story and how her character sort of grows throughout the story and how she sort of copes with this really intense, absurd situation that she's found herself in is really neat to see. It's the stuff that good movies are made out of. Not to mention that, believe it or not, the first Terminator movie actually has one of the best love stories I've ever seen in a film. Yes, it's true. You don't believe me? Go watch it again. You'll see it. But and all of this is in this backdrop of this menace. I mean, just the level of menace that the Terminator is able to provide, both in the way he was written and in the way that he was acted. I mean, Arnold, say what you want about his acting skills, but when Arnold is the Terminator, you get chills, man. He is such just the idea that he is a machine that doesn't feel and just doesn't care, doesn't have emotions. I mean, it's a little bit more cliche now, but still, the concept of it, especially back in the 80s, was just really chilling. I mean, talking about villains, he was one of the most effective villains of all time, and it was kind of interesting when they made Terminator 2, because they obviously wanted Arnold to be the villain again, but Arnold was not. Oh God, that's ugly. What the hell? No, Arnold, you're not ugly. I wasn't talking about you. Go back and don't. Oh, put that down, Arnold. Holy crap. Oh, okay. Thank God. Oh, whew, that was scary. But no, Arnold wanted to. He didn't like being typecast as the bad guy all the time.